So, you're standing at a digital crossroads. On one side, Tool A, incredible speed, sleek, modern interface. On the other side, Tool B, the established industry standard, a feature for everything. You just want one specific job done. But the internet is a sea of opinions, affiliate links, vague comparisons. That's the problem we're tackling today. We're cutting through the noise with a clear, fair, hyper-focused test, not feature counts or long spec sheets. This is a real-world showdown, one single common task, run through both tools start to finish. Round speed, round quality, round ease of use, round value. Before we jump into the test, let's properly introduce our two contenders. It's important to know what we're working with, including the exact versions and the machine they're running on, because those details matter. For this test, we are running everything on the same system to ensure a level playing field. A 2025 M4 Max MacBook Pro with 64 GB of RAM running the latest macOS Sequoia. No other major applications are running in the background. Everything is as clean and controlled as it can be outside of a sterile lab environment. First up, in the blue corner, we have Tool A. For our test, this will be Pixelmator Pro, version 3.6, a Mac-exclusive photo editor known for its beautiful design, fast performance, powered by Apple's Metal Graphics API, and a more accessible one-time purchase price. Pixelmator Pro leverages machine learning for much of its heavy lifting, like automatic background removal and intelligent subject selection. Powerful, but focused on a streamlined, less cluttered user experience. And in the red corner, our second contender is Tool B, Adobe Photoshop 2026 version 27.2. The undisputed heavyweight champion of image editing, part of Adobe Creative Cloud. Photoshop is the industry standard. Its name has become a verb, a feature set miles deep, decades of development, known for its power, precision, and tight integration with the Adobe ecosystem. That power comes with a steeper learning curve and a recurring subscription cost for many users. A fair test needs a clear, repeatable, and relevant task. Trying to compare everything these tools can do would be impossible, and frankly, not very useful. You don't use every feature every day. So, we've boiled it down to one single sentence that defines our entire test. This sentence is our North Star, and we will not deviate from it. Every click, every adjustment, and every measurement will be in service of completing this one objective. This keeps the comparison grounded in reality and prevents it from spiraling into a vague feature-for-feature battle. Here is the exact task for our showdown. Take a 42-megapixel raw portrait photo. Use AI to select and mask the subject. Replace the background with a new image. Perform a 5-step color grade on the subject to match the new background. Export it as a high-quality JPEG at 2048 pixels on the long edge. This is a super common workflow for photographers, content creators, and marketers. It touches upon AI capabilities, masking precision, color correction tools, and export performance. We're using the exact same source RAW file and the same background image for both tools. To keep this completely fair, we've established a strict set of rules. The first round is all about one thing: raw speed. For this test, the clock starts the moment we click to import the raw photo and stops the second the final JPEG file appears in our export folder. We're not just measuring the export time, we're measuring the total time it takes a proficient user to complete the entire task. This includes subject selection, masking, background replacement, color grading. We'll use fast motion for the repetitive parts, but the timer on screen will show the true elapsed time. First up was Tool A, Pixelmator Pro. Hitting the import button, the 42-megapixel RAW file loaded almost instantly. Using Pixelmator's AI-powered Select Subject feature, it took a single click and about 3 seconds of processing to generate a remarkably accurate mask. Adding the new background layer, refining the mask edge with the Refine Selection tool took another 45 seconds. The color grading process, using 5 distinct adjustment layers, was smooth and responsive. Exposure, color balance, saturation. Finally, hitting export. The process of rendering and saving the final JPEG took just 4 seconds. Next, it was Tool B's turn. We reset the clock and opened Adobe Photoshop. Importing the same RAW file brought us into the Camera Raw interface, adding a few seconds to the load. Using Photoshop's Select Subject tool, the initial selection took about 4 seconds to compute. Refining the mask around the hair in Select and Mask required more manual work, taking closer to 90 seconds. The color grading process felt equally powerful, with no noticeable lag. The final export took 7 seconds to render the JPEG. The final times are on the board. For Tool A, Pixelmator Pro, the total time from start to finish was 3 minutes and 17 seconds. For Tool B, Adobe Photoshop, the total time was 4 minutes and 48 seconds. Speed is one thing, but it's meaningless if the final result doesn't hold up. We're putting the 2 final JPEG exports under the microscope. We're not just going on, feel. We're looking at specific objective metrics: mask quality, color rendering and blending, and export compression quality. First, we examine the quality of the AI mask, zooming in to 300% to check for haloing. Placing the 2 images side by side and zooming in on the hair, a noticeable difference emerged. Zoomed in, side by side, with arrows. Tool B retained more detail than Tool A. Tool A produced a very clean, but slightly softer edge. It avoided harsh outlines, but lost some of the finest, wispiest strands. Tool B, after more detailed manual refinement in Select and Mask, retained more fine hair detail. Its edge detection plus refinement produced a mask that was objectively more intricate and realistic, especially against the complex new background. Next, we looked at the color grading and how the subject integrated into the scene. Both tools did an admirable job. However, Photoshop's color balance and selective color offered a slightly higher degree of subtlety, allowing for more nuanced shifts in the midtones and highlights, resulting in a composite that felt just a fraction more natural. Both were exported as JPEGs at 2048 pixels on the long edge at 85% quality. Tool A file, 1.2 MB. Tool B file, 1.4 MB. No visible artifacts at 100% view. The slightly larger file size from Photoshop likely corresponds to the greater detail it retained in the mask. When prioritizing the absolute highest fidelity, that extra data can matter. For its superior masking and slightly more nuanced color tools, this round goes to the industry standard. Quick poll: which result looks better to you? A or B? Comment below. Winner. Tool B, Adobe Photoshop. A powerful tool is useless if you can't figure out how to use it. This round focuses on the user experience, particularly for someone new to this workflow, counting the number of clicks to key functions, observing UI clarity, and noting friction points. We use default workspaces, no custom shortcuts. Tool A, Pixelmator Pro is built around simplicity. From launch, the interface is clean and uncluttered. AI Select Subject is visible in the toolbar, one click. Color tools live in one right-hand panel with clear icons and sliders. The process felt linear and intuitive. Main friction, locating the refine mask. A secondary step, task completed in about 22 clicks. Tool B, Photoshop gives a different experience. Its interface is dense. Select Subject exists but is nested. 2 clicks. Select and Mask is a separate interface. Dozens of brushes, sliders, options. Powerful, but overwhelming for new users. Finding radius, feather, and decontaminate colors requires trial and error. Logical to veterans, but less discoverable. We counted roughly 38 clicks. Verdict: clear. Pixelmator Pro is designed to be discoverable and guides users through a logical sequence with less jargon and fewer nested menus. Winner: Tool A, Pixelmator Pro. The final round comes down to the bottom line: cost and value. This isn't just about the sticker price, it's about what you get for your money. We need to consider pricing model, any hidden costs, the overall value proposition. Is a cheaper tool that does 90% better value than a subscription that does 100%? For many, this is the key question. Pixelmator Pro, as of early 2026, Mac App Store one-time purchase, $49.99, includes updates for the current major version. No subscriptions, no hidden fees, no required plugins. Once you buy it, you own it. If you do this task a few times a month, cost per use drops to pennies. Photoshop, Adobe Creative Cloud subscription. Common plan. Photography plan, $22.99. Month, $275.88. Year, includes Lightroom and cloud features. Ecosystem value is real. Compared purely for this task, Tool A was faster and easier, with final quality only slightly behind in pixel peeping details, at nearly 1/6 the first-year cost, repeating yearly for Tool B. For most users tackling this workflow, the dollar-for-dollar value is undeniable. Winner. Tool A, Pixelmator Pro. After 4 intense rounds of testing, it's time to look at the final scorecard. Round 1, Speed, Tool A. Round 2, Quality, Tool B. Round 3, Ease of Use, Tool A. Round 4, Value, Tool A. Final score, Tool A, 3, Tool B, 1. Overall winner, Pixelmator Pro. Faster, easier to use, much better value, nearly on par in output. Photoshop won quality marginally, but at the cost of speed, simplicity, and a much higher price. For this task, the challenger unseated the champion. Declaring an overall winner is great, but the real world is all about nuance. No tool is perfect for everyone or every situation. First, collaboration. Photoshop is often the non-negotiable standard. If you need to send layered PSDs to clients, printers, or other designers, use the tool they use. Photoshop integrates with Illustrator, InDesign, Premiere Pro. That ecosystem power is something a standalone cannot fully replicate. Second, if you need the absolute pinnacle of quality and control, Photoshop is still the king, especially for complex masks, high-end retouching, and advanced color separations. Finally, career path. If you aim to be a professional retoucher, digital artist, or agency designer, learning Photoshop is a prerequisite. Tool B remains the heavyweight champion in traditional creative industries. So, after all the testing, the pixel peeping, and the number crunching, it all comes down to a personal decision. Which tool will I be reaching for the next time I have to do this exact task? We've seen the data, and we've discussed the nuances. For me, the choice has become incredibly clear. While I respect the immense power and legacy of Photoshop, my workflow is all about efficiency and speed, without a significant compromise in quality. I need great results, and I need them fast. For this task, and for the majority of my day-to-day photo editing needs that mirror this task, I will be using Tool A, Pixelmator Pro. The reason is simple. It respects my time.